David Walton here with the new topic today. It is, are you able to dehypnotize yourself? Well, what kind of topic is that? Dehypnotize? I thought the usual question is, are you able to hypnotize yourself? Well, there's different perspectives and definitions on hypnosis, trance, etc., and who cares? Words are just for our convenience to play around with. That's what I say. That's one perspective. Another perspective could be the words are the property of the academic priesthood so that they can control, dominate, and manipulate your mind to be good, compliant citizens that look up to the academic overlords as the monopolistic holders of intelligence and social approval. Now remember, it is very, very important for a good citizen to believe everything the government says. And it's very important to make sure that as many people as possible go to university and get the most credentials they can, because everybody knows that as many letters after your name on a business card as you can get, the better. In fact, if you could get at least 100 letters on your business card, that's really, really good. And of course, everybody knows that every professor is very practical, very powerful, very personal, and accountable for their actions. The highest and best expressors, communicators, coaches, trainers, motivators, inspirers are on the university campus. That is an absolute fact. Well, I'm just kidding around actually. But just to make you aware, maybe not everything is the way some people are represented to be. Maybe some people on university campus are boring. Maybe some of them are kind of shy, introverted, not the most dynamic, not the most relevant, not the most practical, not the most powerful. So then why are people taking these courses? So let's get back to the topic. Can you dehypnotize yourself? Well, unless you're very unusual, I would bet you can't. I would bet you don't even think about it. I would bet that most of you go out of your way to become as hypnotized and conditioned as possible. Now, who would want to hypnotize you? Who would want to condition you? Why would people want to do such a thing as that? I mean, is there such a thing as social engineering? I mean, would advertisers want to condition you and hypnotize you? Would politicians want to you to open up your mind wide, like a little bird, and have the metaphorical worms of all their ideologies poured into you? Yes, of course they would. Now, are there lots of religions more than willing to offer you their theologies so that you can get entangled in them? Of course there are. And are there lots of pathologies that you can buy into about how we really, really suck as people and how we're born into sin, or, we're just, we have this survival instinct thing that makes us want to compete with each other and beat each other up and that kind of thing. Well, those are different perspectives. Then we can buy into them or not buy into them. Right? Now, if you're the kind of person who likes to be given a perspective, then you are a meaning taker. If you're the kind of person who likes to create your own perspectives or seek out, be a consumer shopper of their perspectives, then you're a meaning maker. Now, a meaning maker is a victor, and a meaning taker is a victim. What do you want to be? A victim or a victor? Now, in order for you to direct your own destiny, you need to be a meaning maker. If you want to have your destiny determined for you, then you take all the meanings given to you. And well, there's hundreds of them given to you before the age of 10. Before you hit the age 10, you have been so hypnotized, so conditioned, so programmed with both fixed, static beliefs and dynamic, changeable beliefs. It's not fun. Now, there's a big difference between fixed or static beliefs and dynamic beliefs, and I'll get into that in another video. That's something that's never been touched in the social sciences or psychology or therapy or coaching or motivation or in the arts or movies. It's hinted about, the problem is hinted about and made to seem more difficult than it is, but I've come through the major set of breakthroughs that will change everything in social sciences, and I'll talk about that in the video. So again, back to the topic. Can you dehypnotize yourself? Or can you be dehypnotized? Well, you might ask the question, am I hypnotized already? And if so, how would I know? And if I was hypnotized, why would I want to dehypnotize myself? So, what would be the definition of hypnosis? Hypnosis could have a definition of having beliefs or perspectives or points of view or decisions or conclusions that are fixed. And these fixed or static beliefs are miswired to survival or instinct, whether you're aware of it or not. And what do these beliefs or programs do? They seek to validate themselves by projecting themselves into your events. So, how does that affect you? If you have a program that says, I'm not good enough, or that money is scarce, or that Americans are arrogant, or men are mean, or dating is difficult, or whatever it might be, if that is a fixed, static belief miswired to your survival instinct, that belief, when evidence is presented to it that threatens it, it acts as if there is a danger to your physical life. Of course, this is foolish. This is a delusion. This is ridiculous. But people have hundreds and hundreds of beliefs like this, and the ones they're used to, they tend to defend as if they are real, as if they belong, as if it's personal. And these beliefs supply thoughts, words, feelings, dreams, urges, actions, and behaviors to you, to groups, to teams, to nations, and they tend to automatically happen without being questioned. It's kind of like the person that can walk in and out of a building, whether they're beneficial or detrimental or not. If they're familiar, they're accepted. The security guard will tend to only not let those in that don't seem to belong. But these beliefs seem to belong because they've been there for a long time, until you have the wisdom, the clarity, and the mental tools to automatically or consciously pick up that this belief is there, spot it, identify it, and eliminate it. Or even better, to prevent it. So again, you could have a belief like, I'm not good enough, or public speaking is dangerous, and you think that would affect your public speaking. And you could have conditionings like that criticism is terrible, or judging is terrible, when it's not the judging and the criticism that really feels bad. It's the irrelevant stimulus that got associated with criticism or judgment. And again, on another video, I'll explain simple classical deconditioning and how you can be deconditioned from things that sometimes haunt people their whole lives. So, can you be dehypnotized? Well, up until this point, most people don't even know they're hypnotized, so it's not very likely. For the few that become aware of it by watching a video such as this, how can you dehypnotize yourself? Well, in order to dehypnotize yourself, you have to take what conclusion you made from a previous event that got frozen at that time, probably because your brain wasn't fully developed. You were in the young ages, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, before you have the critical factor developed, before you could reason and reject things. It's basically before you had a security guard on your mind. Okay? So if you developed a program or belief at that time, you've probably still got it, and then it will seek to validate itself. If you're not even aware it's there, how are you going to get rid of it? Now, to dehypnotize yourself, you have to evaporate that belief by being able to freely consider other perspectives, other alternative points of view, other conclusions, other decisions. Now, every event has no inherent meaning. Just because when you were 4 or 5 you came to the conclusion that I'm not good enough, it didn't mean that there wasn't other conclusions you could come to. You could come up to other conclusions like, I may feel I'm not good enough right now, but in the future I'm going to feel good about myself. Or, this event kind of sucks, but I'm going to have better events in the future. So there's no point in coming to a permanent conclusion. But as a young 3 or 4 or 5-year-old, it's understandable you come up with a conclusion like that. Now you know better. Also, you could come to the conclusion, I don't have all my powers now, my brain's not fully developed, and later on, I'll be different, so I'll be able to deal with these situations differently. Now, to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, you probably don't come up with conclusions like that, so you can see how you don't have the same repertoire, you don't have the same amount of perspectives. You have adults in your life probably that seem like gods because they can control your destiny. They determine your how you feel about yourself, your security, both tangible and intangible. And if they're not around, you could easily feel threatened because your life depends upon them, both symbolically and literally biologically. So if something happens, you could easily feel threatened, and you could come up to conclusions that aren't appropriate. So the question of can you be dehypnotized? Can you dehypnotize yourself? The answer is yes. The possibility is there. Are you likely to? Very, very unlikely. The only time that people would start to be very likely to dehypnotize themselves is when the kind of insights, tools, and approaches that I've come up with start to spread themselves through the Innovation Mastermind Network. So that's my goal. My goal is to build a network of masterminds where people support each other, have a buddy system that they learn to achieve and connect and bond and to clarify. That's what I call the four hungers, and do that in a healthy, positive, and systematic manner. And then they also learn the tools to dehypnotize themselves and decondition themselves over time. Anyways, that is an introduction to this idea. On later videos, we'll talk about how to decondition yourself and whether you can. And this is a big topic, but this is a good start. So this is David Walton. Really looking forward. Can you just go down below, make some comments? Please join the channel. Say that you like it. Join me on Facebook too. I'd love to interact with you. And if you're in Vancouver area, join the mastermind network closest to you. Join the mastermind closest to you, and then come to the network meetings. And by this time, maybe we've moved into your city. If you really want us in your city, contact me. We'll see what we can do. You can get organizing some things, and we'll back you up. So David Walton signing off. Talk to you next time. All the best. Bye.